Welcome everyone. I thought we'd do a mat class today using the Magic Circle. It's a great tool. This is a balanced body Magic Circle. They're out of Sacramento. Very quality product, a little pricier, but it's my choice. But there are other options on there, so see if you find one that works. The other thing you can use today is you could use one of these little girdy balls or over balls. You're not going to get the full advantage of it. You can't necessarily pull apart, but it's workable. So feel free to use that as an alternative. The Magic Circle is a beautiful reference for a rib cage, our shoulder girdle, our pelvis, that there is an inside, right? There is an outside. We're not just forcing our movement from the outside onto the inside. We're trying to create a movement that incorporates all of the body, right? Inside, outside, up and down. So that's what I love about the Magic Circle. Additionally, I like to pull apart periodically. I also pull in periodically, and I think you'll find that references your core beautifully. It gives you another level of connection, especially into that rib cage area, which, as you know, in Pilates we're working with that lateral and posterior rib cage breath. So I think the circle really helps to reference that fullness for not only mobility but also for strength. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be seated. Feel free to get yourself nice and propped up any way that you're comfortable, and the distance of your feet to your bottom are personal preference. Sitting up nice and tall, the circle is up against the front of my knees with the handles on the outside, and I'm just going to pull the handle into my knees as I gently squeeze in with the pinky side of my hand. And then I'm going to take the thumbs and I'm going to pull out. So just alternating with that a few times. Just sense your body, come into present, let the day go, feel your breath, pulling out with your thumbs and pulling in with the pinkies. Let's keep that pulling with the pinky for just a moment, pulling the circle down into the shins, getting a little taller. Hooking those thumbs on the inside. Let's inhale, and as we exhale, I'm going to pull apart. I'm going to bring the circle with me as I start to roll down just a little bit, not a huge movement. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, deepen that and pull apart with your thumbs, sensing that connection into the shoulder girdle, and then squeezing in and pulling and sitting up nice and tall. Inhale to prepare, and exhale once again, pulling apart with the thumbs. Feel the tailbone reaching towards your heels. As you pull apart again, feel that connection into the underarms, trying to get that sacrum and low back a little closer to the mat, and squeeze and nice and tall. Let's do 2 more of those. It's a nice time to just sense where you're at with your movement today. Less can always be more. This time let's sit up nice and tall. Lengthening the legs out, pulling the toes to the face. I'm pulling my thumbs away from each other and sliding the shoulders down. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, slowly lower down. Keep that pull of the thumbs. Look at the circle. Think about referencing that movement with your spine. The circle goes overhead, pointing the toes. Inhale, bring the circle up, flexing. Exhale, think of the spine that rounds. Reaching over your toes, once again pointing, leveling that circle. Let's sit up once again nice and tall, flex the feet, and then exhale, rolling down. Take your time. Map your spine. pointing the toes, keeping the ribs on the floor, finding that length from the circle to your toes. Inhale, back up. Exhale, rolling. Find that breadth of your rib cage as you sit up. And 2 more. Pulling apart, toes to the face, deepening that front fascial line. Try to not skip through that low back. Deep exhale. Feel that there's an inside, right? You're not trying to compress it. You're trying to have that form alive and well for you. And this will be the last one. And we're going to go ahead and come down and bend the legs. Let's place the circle behind the head. And I'm going to bring my hands to either side of the handle. So the base of my skull is resting on the handle. Shoulders are down and elbows are reaching long from your underarms. Inhale. And as you exhale, gently curl up and inhale down. I'm trying to keep the weight of my head in the circle. So I'm trying not to pull on my head with my arms. I'm trying to keep the weight of the head resting up against that handle. And a few more. Eyes are gently tracking down. Pelvis is staying nice and still. Last one. And lower. Let's go into a rotational movement. So inhale to prepare. As you exhale, lift the knee, trying to bring that opposite elbow to the knee, and then lower down. And again, exhale. So think about the expansion of the rib cage. That, yes, we're coming up, but we're trying to keep some volume in through the center of the body. We're noticing that there is an inside and outside. Reaching the elbows down and away helps to drop those shoulders. And remember that your spine will follow your eyes. So look in the direction that you'd like to rotate. If you can touch your elbow to your leg, great. Sense that tailbone and its support for your leg movement. And let's do one more set. Finishing over on that other side. And down. Great work. Let's go ahead and slip the circle out. And we're going to come to a roll up one more time. We're going to change where the circle is located. So reach overhead, give yourself that stretch, pointing your toes, ribs are nice and anchored. Inhale, flexing. Exhale. Think of that circular motion that your spine is creating. Good. And let's sit up tall one last time. Feel those shoulder blades sliding down. We are going to place the circle on top of one ankle and below the other. This is amazingly helpful. It probably looks very odd and like it's going to be very challenging, but bear with me here. So sitting up nice and tall, and I realize some of our hamstrings are different lengths. Do what you can. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, squeeze the circle, reach your arms gently forward. Just bring those arms up towards the ceiling. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. Once again, back up, squeezing the circle. Squeeze that top leg down. Good. Let's do a nice open chest, open back movement. And then once again, down you go. Find that connection. Really sensing the pelvic floor on this. Find the breadth of the ribs. Feel that spine as if it were a circle all the way through. Open those arms, sensing the back. And big exhale, like a spinnaker on a sailing ship, catching that wind. Let's do one more and then we'll switch. And exhale back up. Find that connection under the ribs, that stopping point. And open, feel your breath. Nice work. Let's take that circle and let's switch. Now this movement can feel quite different when you have one leg on the bottom and the other on the top. So see how that feels to you. First of all, you're going to have a little more stretch on that top leg. So if you're tighter on one hamstring, that'll make a difference. Inhale to prepare. Pull down with that top leg. You're that spinnaker. You're catching the wind. You're not collapsing. There's a sense of support and stability. Feel the openness of the rib cage and the chest. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, that cervical knot, and then right here, pull the ribs up and under the heart. Great work. Stretch out nice and wide. Find that web spacing on your fingers. And again, exhale. Those inner thighs connect up into that pelvic floor and the rest of your core. So sense that nice connection. Pulling down with that top leg. Try to not lift the legs. Opening up. I find if I focus more on pushing down with that top leg, I'm much less likely to lift the bottom leg. Rolling down. If this is easy, feel free to keep your arms a little higher, right? When you come up and when you come down. And opening out. Very nice. Great work. Let's go ahead and grab that circle. Super job. Let's come to some bridge work. So go ahead and lie down on the mat. Before I begin any work, I bridge up and down just a little bit to elongate my spine. Let's go ahead and bring the circle up overhead. I'm going to pull apart with my thumbs. Notice as you pull apart with your thumbs that it references your rib cage. There's a little expansion, feeling the serratus under the arms and how it interdigitates with the ribs. So we're going to go ahead and bridge up. Walk your feet closer towards your bottom if you'd like to and settle into your sternum. Let's go ahead and bring that leg towards the circle. And feel that you've got a nice connection here, which should help activate the abs a bit. We're going to extend the leg and the circle goes away, and then we bring the leg and the circle back together. And then away, and back together. Let's play with two hand connections to the circle. As I pull in, I'm pulling apart with my thumbs. As I go away, I'm squeezing gently inward. So I'm pulling my hands towards each other here, and I'm pulling my thumbs away from each other here. Lots of stability needed on that standing leg. One more. Bring it back in. Nice job. Lower the leg and elongate your spine all the way out. Great work. Bend your elbows just a bit. Give your arms a bit of a break. Extend your arms back up. Bridging up. Feel all 10 toes, balls of the feet and the heels. Check the sternum. Make sure that there's weight there. And then go ahead and float the knee up. Check your stability. And then out. Inhale and exhale. Squeezing the hands together, sensing the underarms. Pulling apart, sensing the ribs. Out you go. And bring it back in. At your tempo, mapping your pelvis, Mapping your spine, sensing your breath, connection to inside and outside. Last one. Bring it back in. Place that foot down. Nice, long, slow bridge, one vertebra at a time. Great work. So let's keep that, bend your elbows, shake it out for a minute. Let's keep the circle up towards the ceiling. We're gonna float the right leg up and the left leg up. The knees and the feet are together, toes are pointed. Keeping the circle up. Let's try different hand positions and see how this helps us, or which helps us more than another. So I'm gonna tip my pelvis and my legs away from me. And then I'm going to exhale and come back to center. And then other side, I'm going to tip my pelvis and my legs away from me and come back to center. So let's try squeezing the circle gently. So it really is, it's subtle. There's a subtle connection and it's a little more pinky driven. So inhale as you go to the side. Exhale, pulling back. Inhale as you go to the other side. Exhale, pulling back. Okay, let's put our thumbs on the inside. This time let's pull apart and see if there's any difference. Inhale out to the side. Knees and feet are glued together. Exhale, pull back. Thumbs are pulling away. Inhale, rotate to the side. Exhale, pull back. Good, let's squeeze in again. Inhale over to the side. Exhale, pull back. Do you reference something differently in your body? Inhale to the side. That might help you stay a little more stable or give you a little more power. Thumbs on the inside, pull apart. And exhale. I feel in this exercise that the squeezing in helps me a little more. Okay, guys, that is the last one. Let's go ahead and place our feet down on the floor. As always, little bridge up and down. Let's take the magic circle between the legs. There are two ways to do that. You can have the circle perpendicular to the floor or parallel to the floor. So one of those is going to feel more comfortable for you. The feet are about knee width apart, hip width apart. And then from here, I'm going to let the knees fall open, but my feet are staying in alignment with my hips. Inhaling to prepare, I'm going to gently squeeze on the circle, and I'm going to count to 4 on that movement, and then 4 out. What I'd like you to think about is the glutes on this exercise. Can you keep your bottom from squeezing apart? So we want the inner thighs to really create this movement. Very often people squeeze their glutes to create this movement. So make sure that the glutes are, you might have some lateral glute support and that's fine, but the sitting bones stay nice and wide, nice and open. And remember that connection of inner thighs right into that pelvic floor, transverse abdominis. Keep finding that expansion of the ribs. 2 more, shall we say. And last one, check your shoulders, nice and broad. Good work. Let's keep that circle closed right now, and let's add some pulses here. So 8, 7, 6, nice and stable through the pelvis. 4, 3, 2, and 1, and just hold that. Take a breath or 2. Keep expanding and connecting into the floor. And then open out. Nice job. Let's go ahead and come back with the magic circle in our hands. And we're going to go ahead and roll up. So extend those legs out. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, up you go. Nice work. We're going to sit up nice and tall, and we're going to come into a rolling like a ball. As you begin your rolling like a ball, feel free to give it a little freedom. We're going to tuck those knees in, inhale back, and exhale forward. Inhale back, and exhale forward. And then as you practice, see if you can keep your rolling like a ball a little tighter. And see if you can use the circle image for your movement of your spine. Pull the circle apart with your thumbs. And then try pulling your fingers into the circle and see if one of those helps you more than another. 2 more. Last one. Stay up. Extend the legs out. Sitting up nice and tall. Let the chest lift. Shoulders are down. Good. Keeping those legs up. Slip the circle out. And then slowly roll down to about your shoulder blades. And we're going to come into single leg stretch. So can you think of that curl of the spine and the breadth of the ribs? I'm pulling my thumbs apart here. First of all, I'm going to see how that feels. And then I'm going to pull my hands in a little bit and see if that helps me create a little more strength right under the ribs. I think the pulling in is good here. 3, 2, 1, and knees in. Great work. Let's roll over to the one side. And let's place the circle on the inside of the ankles. Some people like to be right on the bone, and some people prefer to be more on the soft tissue on the ankle. Whatever works for you is just fine. Lengthening down, put the hand behind the head, and gently push your head back into your hands. See if you get a sense of core. And then we're going to go ahead and lift and lower those legs. Think of sliding the shoulders down away from your ears and see if you can bring your head into alignment with the rest of the body. The lift is coming from that lower leg. The top leg is giving a little resistance. Good. Feel the circle of the pelvis. Feel the circle of the ribs. The circle of the shoulder girdle. Find your breath. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Nice job. Let's go ahead and roll onto our backs and pull our knees into our chest. We're going to be sweeping the legs out and up. Maybe they'll straighten, maybe they won't. And then bending and rolling down. Circle your arms. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, reach the legs out and up. And then bending the legs. The challenge here is to roll through your pelvis, particularly on the way down. So right here, try to roll slowly. Tailbone, sacrum, low back. And one more. Hold it, and back down. Nice job. Let's take that circle and come to the other side. That's hard. Takes concentration. Good. So we think about sort of 3-point landmark in the body, the head and the ribs and the pelvis being in alignment. So see if you can get a sense of that here. The legs are below you or slightly forward. Pull those ribs in and up. And press that head back into your hand. So feel that your pelvis can have a sense of circular, open awareness. The ribs, can you feel a sense of circular, open awareness in the back as well as the sides? Good work. You can use this hand for stability, sliding the shoulders down, lengthening that neck. The lift is primarily from the bottom leg. Top leg is resisting. 4 to go. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Nice job. Rolling over onto the back. Are you ready? Arms overhead, sweeping down, around and up. So level 1, you could stop here. All right, level 2, straightening a little more, slowly bending. So the legs are acting as a counterbalance. And swinging down and around and up. Find the volume of the circle in your pelvis, in your ribs, in your shoulder girdle. Slowly bending. And again, down and around and up. And lower. Let's make this the last one. And lower. Nice job. Hold on to that circle. Bridge up and down, please. Elongating your spine. Really sense your feet on the floor. Let's take the circle, the heels of the hands and the thumb are on the outside. I'm bringing that circle just to about chest level. I'm squeezing the circle in. Now as I squeeze the circle in, I'm feeling a broadening of my ribs. If I try to squeeze the circle with my hands up here, I don't have the leverage that I have down here. I'm really driving that circle in from my underarms below my shoulders. I'm keeping that chest open, keeping the back open. And let's go for 3. Little vibration happening here. Last 2. And last 1. Great. Rolling up onto the knees. This is one of my favorite side bending exercises. So your side bending, you've got the circle right up against the leg. The knees are about hip width apart, hip bone, and the heel of my hand and my thumb are on the outside of the circle. I'm going to be using my leg as a guide. So I'm going to be locking this elbow and it's going to stay very close to my body. Bring your hand to the side of your head and lock this elbow. And as you go into your side bend, let this be about the abdominals, right, on the side of your body. It's easy to sort of lift my shoulder and then push down through my shoulder. But I want this movement to have the shoulder girdle very stable so that the movement really comes from that waistline. Remember, there's an inside to your ribs and outside to the ribs. As the elbow reaches up, make sure to keep that shoulder down and do let your head go. Let your head go over to the side. And coming back up. Got a little away from me there. And over. Now let's stay here for a little pulse. Ultimately, you want to try to keep your weight over in the weight evenly distributed. There's a tendency to shift away from the circle. So 4 to go, 3 to go, last 2, last 1. Let's stay down. Let's extend that arm out and get a little deeper stretch here into that waistline and back and up. Nice work. Shake that wrist out a bit. Again, the thumb and the fingers are on the outside. Good. Let that arm should be right, so there's no space here. It's right up against the leg. So when I bend down, I'm straight down against that leg. Hand at the side of the head. Think of that three-point connection, back of the head, ribs, and pelvis. And over you go. Keep the shoulders level. In other words, I mean, don't let the shoulder come up to the ear and then down. That's going to be more of a shoulder exercise. Good work. Feel that there is an up with this. Right? There's an up. Beautiful work. And let's go for 4 more. Squeezing the air out of that lung on the circle side. Good. 2 more. Big exhale. Good. Last one. And we stay. And we pulse, not with the shoulder. We pulse from the waistline. So that shoulder is down. Finding that underarm connection. Great. 4 more. Keep that weight over in that leg by that circle. And then push and hold. And see if you can unfold that arm and get a little more length there. Breathe. Squeeze a little harder. And up. Whew, great work. Shake that wrist out a little bit. We're going to go ahead and come down onto the stomach. So let's have the circle out in front of us here. So lying down in the stomach, tuck your toes and just walk your hips away from your ribs a bit. And then we're going to have the circle out in front. The forehead is on the floor. Now I'm going to lift my feet and flatten my ankles towards the floor. My shoulders are sliding down away from my ears. The first thing I'm going to do is gently lift my head up, not with my low back, but with the muscles in my upper back, and then lower back down. So think of elongating your tailbone down to the floor, scooping the belly up. Feel the expansion of your ribs, pelvis, and shoulder girdle. And again, coming back up. The sternum has a little weight into the floor. From here, we're going to reach the elbows wide as we bring the circle in. I'm squeezing the circle a little bit with my hands, and that gives me that wonderful underarm connection. Take the circle back out, lower the circle, and lower the head. Once again. Reach long through those legs, you guys. Lengthen the waistline. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. Squeeze in with the pinky a little bit as you lift your head. Scooping that belly. Reaching the sternum forward. And then bring the elbows wide. Pressing gently in on the circle. Feel that expansion of your ribs. Extend the arms back out, feeling that connection into the pinky, and lower the circle and lower the head. Let's do a few more. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. Think of shortening the arms a little bit, feeling those underarms. Inhale, squeezing the circle. Exhale, extend back out. Inhale, lower the circle. And exhale, lower the head. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, float that head up, engaging the pinky. And inhale, reaching those arms wide. And exhale, extend back out. Inhale, circle down. Exhale, head down. One more. Exhale, float that head up. Inhale, lift the circle and slide it in, pressing and expanding through the ribs. Exhale, keep those shoulders down as you extend that arm out. Inhale, the arms come down. Exhale, the head comes down. Great work. Place your hands by your shoulders. Gently come up. Support your back as you do. Just a moment or two in child stretch. You could walk your hands to one side of the mat, take a breath. Walk your hands to the other side of the mat, take a breath. And back to center. Great. Let's come back down onto the stomach. I'm going to put my hands on either side of the circle with my thumbs up. I want to make sure that my ribs are pulling up and down. I don't want to collapse my ribs down into the floor here. I'm going to slide the shoulders down, pull this tummy up, and we're going to go into double leg kick, single leg kick, excuse me. Here we go. Point, flex, lengthen. I'm drawing in on the circle. Point, flex, lengthen. Looking at the circle, point, flex, lengthen. Think of that circular position of your shoulder girdle, right? That it has a center point, breadth through the bones, right? Space between the sternum and the shoulder blades. The pelvis, the rib cage, each having that sense of volume that can help to stabilize and support your body through your exercises. Good, pointing, flexing. Try to not let the low back shift as you're pulling the leg in. If your quads are tight, that will happen. So you could come down lower, point, flex, lengthen, point, flex, lengthen. Two more, point, flex, lengthen. Last one, point, flex, lengthen. Good. Place your hands back on the floor. Once again, coming back into that child's pose. Nice deep breath. And into quadruped. So what we're going to do with the circle now in quadruped is we're going to have the circle out to one side. And we're going to have one hand down under the shoulder. And we're going to extend the opposite leg from the circle out. So we're going to extend out. So you changed your foundation a little bit. Find that pinky side of the hand and press gently down to the circle. Let's lower and lift that leg. Remember, when you're lifting the leg, if you lift too high, there could be a tendency to collapse in the low back. So keep that tummy really scooping up under your ribs. Find the volume of your ribs, just like the circle. 4 to go, 3 to go, last 2, last 1. Nice work, bring it in. Let's do a toe stretch. Tuck your toes down, bring your bottom back. If you can, sit on your heels. If not, just let your toe stretch happen here. We don't want to lose that flexibility of our toes. It's integral to walking and rolling through the feet. So some toe stretching now and again is very helpful. We're going to go over to the other side. So quadruped, hand on the floor, circle is off at a bit of a diagonal. So it's not right in front of me. It's out to the side a little bit. So first of all, get your 3-point connection, head, ribs, pelvis. Great. And let's broaden the shoulder girdle and think of smiling across your collarbones as we slide the leg out. Adjust your circle as you need to. And then begin to lift and lower. Every time that leg lifts, keep reinforcing that circle of your rib cage. Check the head, check the ribs, check the pelvis, and really access the glute. Pinky side is pressing down on that circle. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that leg back in. Put the circle down. Let's do a second toe stretch. What I find is that the toes stretch pretty quickly. So you might find that already they've released a little bit. But again, do what works for you. We're now going to place the circle on the sternum. This is going to be different for everybody. I have that soft handle right up against the sternum, and then I'm coming down into the floor. I'm going to extend my arms out. We're going into push-ups. I'm going to extend the right leg out and the left leg out. Squeezing the glutes, whole body's active. Lower and lift. So as I'm lowering and lifting, I'm thinking about pulling my sternum away from the circle so that I don't collapse between my shoulder blades. It's a great tool. If your arms are longer, you can prop your circle up on a foam roller to bring it a little bit higher. You can also do this off of a coffee table. Okay, 4 to go. You're on your knees if you need to modify. 3, 2, 1. Come back down to the knees and lower down. Let's take the circle behind our body. Be aware if you have tight shoulders, you might just want to put a hand behind your body. So I'm going to just rest my head down in this child's pose. Now I'm going to pull my thumbs apart. I'm going to lift my arms up towards the ceiling. I'm rolling my shoulders open, feeling the collarbones really pulled laterally, smiling, breathing into the ribs, and then relax the circle back down. Let your shoulders roll forward. Relax into this. So again, do not go quickly into this movement. You could strain your shoulder. Go slowly. Once again, straightening the arms. Thumbs are pulling apart. Gently, slowly, bringing the arms up towards the ceiling. Imagine that somebody has just tied a ribbon to that circle and they're pulling it towards the ceiling. So reaching my arms up, rolling the shoulders open, rolling the collarbones open, and then slowly lowering the circle and relaxing forward. One more time. Again, do what works for you. You could just lift the arms without the circle, bringing that circle up, pulling the thumbs apart, and then rolling the shoulders open. You don't want the shoulders rolling forward, so they're rolling open, accessing the muscles between the shoulder blades, lengthening up, and lower back down and center. Set that circle off to the side. Reach your arms forward. Stretch forward with your fingers. Let's shift our body weight forward and back, tucking the toes, forward and back. The next time I go back, I'm going to press into a downward facing dog. Strong arms, wrapping those arms into the armpits a little bit. Good, coming back down, rocking forward and back and forward and back. And on the last one, again, downward facing dog. Little paddling motion, stretching out the calves. 4 to go. 3, 2, and 1. Last stretch, pressing back with your arms and coming back to center. Great work today. I hope you enjoyed the Magic Circle workout. There's so many more things we can do with this, and we will. Have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you so much for coming. Bye for now.